Hey Henry, hey Raz. Hey, what's up, Joe? Yeah. Just trying to get a little organized here. I didn't have power for a while there, so it kind of came back a little bit earlier. So I didn't get much stuff done today. Had a crazy storm come by. Just out of nowhere, just got like dark as hell. This is Joe's, this is a Gwen Stacy kit. So I'm putting together a couple kits for him. I didn't do any kit reviews because I just don't have time to do kit reviews on this stuff. I just want to start working on them. So just starting to put together all these kits, getting everything situated. So she had a skirt on her, but we ripped off the skirt. I'm gonna redo the skirt. We're probably gonna change up the heads. So I'm just kind of plugging away on all these items here. It's kind of like I'm getting ready for all the summer batches. So I'm just pulling them all out. So she had a skirt that came down to here but the way the sculptor cut the legs and everything, and he sculpted the skirt floating over, it was really a mess, so we're redoing it. But she holds like books and stuff. So right now we're just getting her into the base, and I gotta fill it up with resin and everything, so we're getting there slowly. Hey, what's up, Raccoon? So there's a rod. You kind of see, like I cut out things so the rod goes up. I bent it at an angle, and I bent the rod all the way up, so the rod goes to right about there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour resin in here after I get all this situated, and it'll make it solid. But I'm going to attach the body top torso first, and then what I'll do is I'll cut a hole here, fill in these holes, and I'll pour resin going down. But sadly, the way the sculptor cut and keyed this is a nightmare. But we're going to redo all that. What should have happened is the skirt should have been sculpted to the legs, not floating above it when you 3D print, and the legs should have been cut so that the legs go into the skirt, but not like so far in there you can't seam up the legs. It was the weirdest way of cutting legs ever. So as I was working on it, the way the 3D sculpted did, it was like the skirt was floating above the resin, and it just, so I just told Joe, I said, let's just rip it off and make a new one. So what I need to do now is get her situated on the base, and then just get that out of the way. Just wanted to make sure that the legs lined up and everything first. So what I'm doing is putting a little eaves at the bottom, and then I got my, because I made the key system, so I just want to make sure when I put some glue in here it'll line up correctly. I should go more like that. So okay. Insta set. So I'm going to put some Insta set on this rod a little bit up top, so this will help lock it. Hey, what's up, Jacob? Good week. Can't complain. Hopefully yours is going alright. Let's get this Instaset dropping out of there. I was gonna work on your Supergirl this morning, but as I said earlier, we had a crazy rainstorm, and I didn't want to start working on her and then the power would go out, and sure enough, the power did go out. So she kind of got sidelined today. Yeah, looking at her, I just got to do the fingernails. I never sculpted fingernails. I didn't even think about it, but I can still paint the fingernails on there. Then I got to do the boots, and then the hair is last, because I think maneuvering her and putting her on the towel, I got to do the boots first. And then it's the base. I still didn't get that stuff in from Amazon, so I'm wondering why the hell it's taking so long. But I did order the snow stuff. I'm wondering if it has to do anything with the tariffs or anything, because usually I get that stuff in like a week. But it's been a while, so it says it's still shipping, but I don't know when. I mean, I could still paint the base and stuff, and then once I get that snow stuff, I can add it last, but I just was hoping to get the stuff soon. But so far, she's looking good. I like the colors on her. I like the way it's coming out. So... Hey, what's up, 234? How's it going? But once I get the Supergirl done, I gotta start painting up the Power Girl kit. But I'm working on all these other commissions now in the garage, so got a lot going on. And then I want to get a hold of Raz this weekend, and we're gonna start getting all these elements printed out for the next stream stuff. So we're getting there slowly. I think the Superman movie's gonna do good. I don't know how well the Supergirl is gonna be, but I think James Gunn's gonna do a good job with it. I just think all the Cavill fans are crying about everything, and they want him back, but I know they're pushing the Supergirl in all the comics now. They're really pushing her new outfit and everything like crazy. I don't know. I think Superman could do pretty well. There's a lot of Superman fans out there, especially in other countries. So I can't imagine it doing like, it's not going to do like Snow White numbers, but it's not going to do. I think it's going to do okay. Well, I know you guys are more excited over Ironheart TV show than anything, so. See, I'm hoping DC is just fun. I just hope it's just fun superhero movies. It does need to be mind blowing to me. If it's just a fun movie, like what Gunn did with the Guardians of the Galaxy, but don't make it too much of a comedy, I'll be fine. But as far as Marvel goes, I'm done with Marvel. I could care less. I have no interest in Thunderbolts. I have no interest in Fantastic Four. I even heard they're reshooting Fantastic Four now. Because the rumor is they made them out to be like really shitty superheroes by fleeing their universe because of Galactus. And now they're going back reshooting it now or something. So yeah, I heard they're reshooting that because they did something stupid to make the Fantastic Four look like selfish heroes or something. I don't know. But like Ironheart, I could care less about an Iron Man. Another Iron. I don't know. Ironheart was filmed like 2 years ago, and now they're putting it out now. It's like I have no interest in Marvel anymore. I don't know what they're doing. I don't care. It's all pretty sad, really. Hey, what's up, Scott? Yeah, I mean, Fantastic Four, I think, should have been the first damn thing Marvel should have done. They're the first family, But they wanted to start with Iron Man. So, everything to me, as a comic book fan, even though the Marvel movies were good up to Endgame, it was still ass backwards to me. Because it should have been Fantastic Four, and then the Avengers, and Spider-Man, and then, bring in the X-Men, but they did everything differently just to go with the comics. So, that's why I'm not really, super crazy about the Marvel films. And then now they're pushing all the characters that fail in the comic books in the movie theater. So it's like, I don't know what Marvel's doing anymore. And then if you look at the Fantastic Four, it's supposed to be all about Sue Storm. Reed Richards is supposed to be the leader of the team, but he's not the leader in the thing. Johnny Storm is now not the typical Johnny Storm we grew up with. He's a soy boy now. So it's like, it's just, whatever Marvel keeps doing, they just keep ruining everything. It's just, they just keep ruining it over and over and over. Doing another Velma Scott? Well, there's like, what, 10 of her out there now? Once they're gonna do that with Doomsday and Secret Wars. They'll do all that type of stuff in those movies. Then I also heard now, while I was watching a video last night, they said that Avengers Doomsday, they don't have a script for it, and they're filming it right now. So they're on set, they're filming Doomsday, but there's no actual script. If that rumor is true, it's going to be end up like the Blade movie, where they were filming the Blade, and also Captain America and Falcon or whatever. They were filming it, but they didn't have a script, so they were just filming fight scenes all the time or something. I don't know. Like I said, I don't think the Russo brothers can save Marvel. I think it's too far gone. I just think it's too far gone and they can't save it. Although, I have to say though, me and my friend were watching another one of those Mr. Grizzy shill videos today. And I have to say those shill videos are entertaining though. So, I hope Marvel keeps doing what they're doing so we can get these shill video compilation stuff. I can't get enough of those shill videos. They are so friggin' funny. Did any of you guys go see Thunderbolts? I mean, some people said it was okay. I have no interest in it because I can't stand Sentry, so... Like, I hate Iron Man, and then I think it's Sentry next. Sadly, I have to paint up a Sentry kit too down the line, but still. Did you like it once or no? See, I like Bucky, but I like Bucky in Winter Soldier when he was a badass. But they turned Bucky into a comedian now, so I don't care for a Winter Soldier anymore. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It seems like Disney just doesn't know what the hell they're doing anymore. It just seems that they're just throwing shit in a script and then they're just hoping that people come watch it. It's just no organization anymore. I don't know what they're doing. Yeah, well, Mr. Grizzly stuff though is funny. Like I said, I could sit there and watch those shill videos he makes all the time. They're so funny. You can see the latest one was about Ironheart, and you can see the video he made. They're all saying like, oh, it's gonna be a good movie, it's gonna be a good TV series, you know, Bob. And you could tell that they don't believe what they're saying, but they're shills and they have to say it's gonna be good. That's what cracks me up. Yeah, this whole part's gonna get reworked, but I just needed to seal this up to make sure when I pour in resin it doesn't leak out anywhere. No, this is a Gwen Stacy kit. I didn't do a review on it, but it's an older kit. It never was put out, so I am working on it now. She holds she has a backpack, and she holds books. She had a skirt, but we ripped off the skirt because of the way the sculptor sculpted it. he sculpted it where it was floating over the body, but he cut the legs in the skirt. And it was a bad design. So we came to the conclusion, rip off the skirt and then seam the legs and do a different skirt. The sculptor didn't cut this correctly at all, and never really planned for like printing and engineering it. So like you don't sculpt the anatomy and then have a skirt floating over the anatomy, and then when you 3D print, it's a very light layer of a skirt over it. So it caused a lot of problems because I couldn't get in here to seam this leg without like shattering the skirt. So I'm gonna do my skirt my way on this. Hey, what's up, Brenton? How's it going? And then the head that came with this, we're probably going to do a different head on it. And then the hairs that was sculpted on this, I'll be re-sculpting the hair. There's a Mary Jane and there's also a black cat. So I got some work ahead of me on these. They're basically 3D print kits, but it's turning into be like more custom projects than anything. So it's gonna be like customizing these a little bit different. Well, I think I got the skirts down. I think I can. It was just I think I threw it out. Let me see if I still have it. Hold on, I might have thrown it out. Yeah, I threw it out. It was too, it shattered it as I pulled it off. But this is the head that came with it, so we're going to swap out the head. But, see, as you can see, the sculptor, like, sculpted this hair and didn't do it in pieces. So you can't get the head on here. And the way he sculpted the hair is kind of very pointy. And a lot of this stuff, like, grabs and stuff. So we're going to be redoing, we're going to put on a different head and I'm going to re-sculpt and stuff. So we're going to fix up the skirt. I'll probably work around, because I got the backpack to put on her. We got the books in the arms, so we got a lot of tweaking to do. I think the only thing I'm kind of running across from some kits here and there is it's just I think people don't key them correctly, but you know, because like these weren't keyed at all correctly and they weren't given supports. So my friend in Canada that printed this, he had to do like generic supports on here. So like underneath his arm, her arm was all crazy bumps I had to sand down, and you know, like when you do if you do it correctly, you should put all your supports in a way where it doesn't ruin any of the texture or anything. And this person just cut it, and then that was it. So you had to do the own support. It's a mess. No, the shirt doesn't have a texture. There's no texture on the shirt. Well, yeah, like I said, the skirt came up to here, and it, like how am I supposed to get this leg up in there and then not seam it, you know? But then if you look underneath the skirt to see the booty, it was a mess. Yeah, it's like as sculptors, like a lot of the guys on Patreon, at least they cut the items correctly. And they support it where when it 3D prints, you don't get all those little dots all over the item. But when you get a sculptor who doesn't do that, and you send it, I guess you send it into the program, am I correct? They just do generic supports and screw it up. Yeah, like I said, this was done around like 2018 from what I understand. And we just got it printed, but we're gonna kind of clean it up. So yeah, so Gwen Stacy, I guess this had a long skirt. Like I said, I think the skirt came to about there, but we might bring up the skirt a little bit more though on this one. You know, I'm leaving this leg off because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like put a rod in this, and then this way I can get the paint underneath here, and then I can just glue this in at the end. But this rod goes all the way up to her waist, so I'm not worried about the rod now. Now by putting the Aves here and that glue in there, once that's cured, when I pour in resin going down, I shouldn't have any leaks. But I'm hoping there's no gaps around here or anything, which I don't think there is, but there could be. It's just a weird way of sculpting. Very strange. You know what? We'll take some A's and we'll go around this anyway. I don't think it's the new direction. I just think it's a new direction in the sense that you can have. There's a lot of sculptors out there that can sculpt characters that companies would never make, and then you can 3D print them yourself, and you can print them out in any size, any scale. If you know how to sculpt, you could go in there and tweak the item. So I think it's just 3D printing and 3D sculpting is just the new way of doing things. I don't think it has to do anything with like licensing or any of that stuff. It's just a matter of it's just easier, and I guess people can make stuff like crazy now. There is so much coming out. It's crazy. I can't keep up. It's like every week there's new sculpts coming out, and anytime there's a new popular character, like in Marvel Rivals when they introduced Emma Frost. All of a sudden, there's artwork of Emma Frost. There's 3D sculpts of Emma Frost. It's like people just pump them out like crazy. So I can't see companies competing anymore, really. But I'm looking at a lot of 3D sculpts now for customs and for personal projects and stuff. So there's a lot of options out there. Alright, I think that'll be good enough to pour in resin. I'm gonna end up chopping this whole belt piece off and redoing this. I have no interest in buying a 3D printer yet. If I was somebody who took a 3D print, printed, painted, and sold it on eBay, and that's kind of like the business and what I was doing, it would be different. But for what I do, I'd rather just outsource a couple projects here and there, or hands or heads or body parts to people and let them do it until I'm ready. I'm at my limit with stuff now, because with commissions, you know, I get in repairs, I get in repaints, I get in customs. I'm so focused on all that stuff that if I add 3D printing into the mix, I would have to worry about the 3D printing, the program failing, fixing resins with all my other stuff. My workload is too much, so I'd rather just kind of keep doing what I'm doing. Maybe by the time I get a 3D printer, they'll be like, you can pick them up at Staples or something. Yeah, I could see that, Scott. That's kind of what would happen to me, you know. I'm so backlogged on commissions, I can't add a 3D printer into the mix. And you know what it is? I know so many guys that have 3D printers now that there's really... I don't feel like there's a need to get one when somebody else can work on it, you know? And if anyone's wondering, this is going to be Star Brand from Marvel. So this was the Warlock from Marvel. So I'm working on somebody's Star Brand. If you don't know who Star Brand is, you can look him up. I did a custom bust of him a while back. You saw my garage with all the projects in there right now. It's crazy. Lots of stuff. a couple repairs. This one's going to be a pain in the ass. So once again, factories always cheap out on putting stuff together, so then it breaks on people, and I gotta figure out ways to repair them. So this is some Lord of the Rings character. He holds up a candle like this, right? And then this is the bottom piece. So that's just asking for damages, and of course it did. So then it was a clean break, but I went in the garage to sort of, because I figured I had to put a rod in here, and as I'm dremmeling it, it just started shattering. So whatever kind of resin this is, it just shattered. So I'm going to put a rod up this piece there, and a rod down to this piece, and that's the best way I'm going to be able to repair this, because otherwise, I don't know what, putting a dab of glue and then putting it on there with a dab of glue is just asking for it to break again. So I'm not doing that. But I didn't realize this would shatter as I started dremeling into it. And I used a brand new drill bit too. But for some odd reason, this whatever resin this is, it's not super friendly. So whenever I do a repair like this, I have to fudge it in a way where it's not exactly the way it once was, but at least it's durable and it's fixed. Because you can't always repair these things perfectly. You have to sort of kind of customize it. You know, like thicken up an area or add an extra ring around it or something. Because it's just once it's broken, it's broken. You can't do anything to it, you know. So I always tell people I can repair it, but when it's a really small, fragile, little tiny piece, there's only so much you can do. I haven't seen any, well, the tariffs are on hold. So I haven't really seen anything with anything I buy having problems. The only thing I'm worried about is I'm still waiting for that one website to get the paintbrushes in. So I haven't gotten anything word back if that's been affected. But as far as, I bought a thing of resin and freeform air like 3 weeks ago, and it was the same price. Hey, what's up, Raphael? I think, as far as the tariffs go, if anything, I think things wouldn't double or go up. I think they would just become scarce because everything's made in China. But as far as pricing, the lockdowns did more damage than anything. Like when we had the lockdowns, everything went up and they really didn't come back down that much. Some things did, but not most of them. So for me, the lockdowns caused way more damage. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and put glue up in here and push the rod through. It's the best way to kind of do this. The next round, I'm going to reply to everyone on Sunday about the Jessicas, and if all goes well, I'm going to, if whoever wins and if they're able to pay within a day or two or whatever, I can have Raz start printing out the stuff. So probably not next stream, but maybe the stream after, depending on how Raz's schedule goes. We can start getting that stuff going. This will also give me a chance to finish up the Supergirl for you and a couple commissions. Get them going, and then I can sort of kind of go from there. That's the plan as of now. It'll probably take Raz to print out a lot of that stuff too, so I just wanted to make sure I had the funds for everything as well. Because don't forget, once I get the 3D prints in, I gotta look them over. I have to do some sanding. We gotta start planning out the rods. I gotta pour in the resin. It's a lot of work. So I wish I was able to just be able to jump into the next batch right away, but it's just not the way it's gonna work out. Silent auction so far is okay. I don't know if it's the best option yet, but so far it seems to be going okay. Like I said, it's just giving supporters that first dibs on anything, so I mean, looks like all three are going to sell, so that's good. You know, I've had a lot of interest from people who aren't part of the Patreon on them, but I guess I've also thinking that maybe some people didn't think about what I kind of charge for commissions too, so I'm kind of thinking that maybe people are kind of used to the Patreons where they just, you know, they get an STL file and then they're done. I don't know. It's, like I said, I'm kind of in my own little world, so it's hard. You know, I'm trying to be fair, but also, you know, it's kind of pricing of what I do. Hold on, I gotta go in the garage and drum this out a little bit bigger. Alright, this is going to be a pain in the ass. Okay, now that part's done. Next part is sort of fudging it and making it secured and also sort of where it was at. I'll tell you, these little repair things are always a pain. Especially if you don't line them up correctly, which sometimes you just can't do. Alright, if he breaks it this time, then he has to have drop kicked it, because that's got a nice sturdy rod in there now. And what I'll do is once this is cured up, I'll get in there with some sandpaper and I'll just kind of fine tune it up a bit, shape it a bit. I know it had like a little bit of like a bubble here and then it went in there, but I can't keep this sturdy without doing it this way. So it's the only way to really let that secured. See, it's like straight here, it's kind of a little warped there, but then these are kind of warped a bit. But it's as good as it's going to get. Put that aside. Alright, we got another bigger repair next. So let's get this stuff over here. And then we got poison ivy to start building out. A lot of little stuff. I have no clue. I know it's a Lord of the Rings statue, but I don't know who made it. But the base looks like it's a 3D print because it's got like some squiggly lines on there that weren't sanded off. So I don't know. I just repair. I just do what I can. I just get in the zone sometimes to start repairing stuff. So this is a wing to something. This tip broke off. Alright, so this tip broke off of this here, and it's a clean break. So what I did is I shaved down a piece of metal, but I used a flat one. I just gotta cut it a little bit more. The reason why I'm using a flat piece is because if I use just a circle rod, it might twist. So I figured a little flat piece would work better. Now sometimes you can get lucky and glue a piece on with some Aves and you don't have to sit there and re-Dremel it and shave it out. So with this one's got such a clean break, I might be able to get away with it. We'll see. Even if a little glue squeezes out, I could kind of get in there with like a sandpaper and Dremel and kind of tweak it a bit. So this is the type of stuff I do during the week. Like if I get a batch of repairs in, I'll sit here and I'll just like on a day, like in the morning, do like a bunch of repairs, put them to the side, do commissions, and kind of go back and forth. So I'm always just doing something. I try to do repairs in batches. Try to get like a few of them together and then do them. It's a little bit easier. So there is a Lord of the Rings in the garage I'm working on. A guy gave me. It's a really huge bust. I can't bring it in here. So I had to. It had a big square metal rod that goes into the torso. And the way it's a hollow torso, and it was like just like a piece like this inside the torso holding it. It was just a nightmare. So I had to cut out the back of the torso so I could get my hand in there, and I had wrapped like what you would call it, fiberglass all around the key area, and then I put a piece of wood in there from the key to the upper neck, and then I put eaves around that and more fiberglass, and I just filled it all with foam, and it was it's pretty crazy. But I don't think it was from a. I don't think it was a licensed piece though. Maybe that's why there were so many problems with it. I don't remember. I don't know. I just get stuff in and just repair. I do get frustrated though with like some of these factories that don't like engineer stuff correctly. I mean, I'll repair it. It's just it's like if you engineer it correctly from the first time, people wouldn't have these issues. So no, I'm not. I'm just repairing. I'm not making an LSB. This is like a life size Lord of the Rings bust guy. I just have. I'm not. It's the head connects onto the torso, and the torso is just a blank black blob of something, and the cloth goes over it. It's that one Lord of the Rings guy where the girl kills the knight because she's a female. That guy. So I'm just repairing. I'm not like rebuilding. I'm not repainting. I'm just fixing the broken area for him. Sauron, yeah, I guess. I don't know. I don't know who produced it. I don't think it's a licensed item. I think it's a fan made item, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I just know that the guy's had a lot of problems with it. He's got the base, and then the base had to be sent back, and then he got another base, but then that was broken, and it was just like an ongoing thing. So right now we're just trying to fix it. I think it's the ring wraith guy. I think that I don't know. I have no clue. I would bring it in here right now, but it's got foam leaking out of it, and I gotta let that foam cure up. Because after I put the fiberglass wrap around that key inside, and then after I put the wooden dowel and I put eaves and I put more fiberglass, I went and got that foam from Home Depot, and I filled it all in with foam. I used a whole can. And it filled in most of it, but there still was a bunch of gaps. So this morning I went and got more foam, and I filled in the rest of it. So it's all leaking out the side. But I put all this tape and paper around it, and it's all getting fixed now. Alright, so what I'll do is I'll let this cure up, and then I'll go back in and touch up any. I don't want to break off the other tip, Jesus. Yeah, so I'll just have to go in there and kind of clean that up next. But yeah, so that's that piece. I will show you one thing I have to fix for him, but it's humongous. I can't redo it now. I have to do it another day. But I'm going to. This thing is huge. So this is another item. I can't. Yeah, so I have to fix up this whole crack thing. Supposedly, all these hammer things that people get break here. So I have to fix this whole entire thing here. But look how big this sucker is. So, yeah, and you can't hold it by the handle because it'll break. So, yeah, so sometimes I get repairs like these too, but I just don't film the stuff because I just got to get them done and out the door. So this is in the garage right now on the floor. I can't hold it in here. It's a Lord of the Rings hammer or something, I think. You know what? I think I could grab the torso and just kind of show you, but I can't really mess with it. Alright, so this is the torso, right? This thing is humongous. So, what I had to do, to give you guys an idea, so I cut out this area to fix this key. So this key underneath this thing, so you see that key in there? It was kind of broken. See that little red A spot? So, this is always an engineering problem. So this rod here, this huge rod, goes into this key here, okay? Like so. But the key is only this big inside the torso. There's nothing here with holding it. So if you put this in here and you push it in too hard, you'll break that key and go right through the bust. So it was a really poor design. So what I did is I did all that wrap around that key inside here, and from the neck to that key I put a wooden dowel and I wrapped it around there, so if you were to jam this thing in there, it wouldn't break the key. So it's this is a big one. So then once this foam is fully cured, which I'm going to give it another day to kind of air out, I'll chop out this foam and I'll put back the block here and I'll kind of rebuild this, you know. But yeah, you can see this thing is humongous. But the good thing about it is, as he told me, it gets covered with cloth, so it doesn't have to be 100% perfect to be like perfectly, you know, smooth and black, and it's going to get covered. So we want to make sure that it doesn't break down the line again. So that's kind of what I was doing with that one yesterday. Like I said, I don't need to lift weights really. Just lifting all these heavy damn things is crazy. Oh, the shipping must be insane. And the sad thing too is, now just imagine, you know, you're a seller, you sold that item and it got to the client and it's broken and they have to repair it, and or they want a replacement, so you got to ship it back and send them a replacement, and you got to do all that, you know, loss. It's too much. It's crazy. I don't mind large items if it's like a holy grail and that's your large item. It's cool, but if you're just kind of buying them like crazy and then you're like, ah, I'll just sell them down the line, it's going to be a nightmare. So yeah, I get a lot of repairs. I just don't film. I just kind of get the repairs in, and I just like, you know what, I got to get these done out the door and move on, so I don't film everything. So yeah, those are just a couple repairs I got going on. So this right here is the Sideshow Poison Ivy. It's a commission I'm doing for someone this summer. So right now I just pretty much stripped off the paint and I'm just kind of getting everything ready, you know, taking off all the vines and leaves. So this is the first time ever that I put a Poison Ivy in acetone and the legs just popped right off. Like, I don't even think they used really any glue. So you can see how their keys are. This is the actual key from inside the base, the item. That's what the key looks like. Now I think this is glue, but it didn't come off like glue. So I'm not really sure what the hell happened, but they just popped right off. So, and that's the key to there too. So this, I think, is, it feels like resin. It doesn't feel like glue. Maybe they poured in some resin, or maybe it's a different type of glue. But yeah, these just popped right out. So I just kind of been chopping up all the leaves and everything. So I got to start rebuilding the anatomy. Get her all basically set up. I'm going to do what I normally do and chop off this key, because this metal rod only goes to about right here. Like right here, I think. So if this ankle breaks, this does nothing. So I'm going to put up a rod going up the ankle up to at least the knee area. This is going to be Sapphire, Star Sapphire, but it's going to be the animated cartoon version. Remember the Star Sapphire I did? So we're going to be doing this one. He liked what I did so much, he wanted me to do this off of this one. So I love this statue. It's still one of my favorite statues. It's just the only problem is it just takes a lot of work to get all these leaves off. No, not on this one. I did, what did I do? I did a Phoenix. I did a Mystique. I think I did a Wonder Woman. I don't know, maybe. And I did the Rocket Girl, Jessie from Pokemon. But no, I did not do a Sapphire off of this. The Star Sapphire I did was off of the Jean Grey. Yes, this is the Sideshow Ivy. Yeah, I think it's still one of Mark Newman's and Sideshow's best statues ever. But like I said, it just requires a lot to take off all the leaves and everything. the best way I've done in the past is, instead of sitting there trying to sand down the resin and try to, like, you know, take all that resin off, just grind the resin down and put Aves on there and then sand it down. It just goes faster. Oh yeah, it's Ivy. I'll grab the head and the arms. I'll show you all the parts, how it goes together. Yeah, so the way this works is her head glues back there like that. It broke off a little bit, but that you can see how the key sort of works. So the head goes there, and then the way they do it is these arms glue in like so. That's how they do the arms. And then these two hair pieces, this piece didn't pop off, but this one popped off. So you can see the two pieces of hair. And then, yeah, and then, but like I said, the legs popped off easy on this one. In the past, I used to have to break these off, but these popped right off. So, yeah, but I grinded all the leaves, so the leaves went over all this, but you can't really tell though. But yeah, that's how the Sideshow broke this one down. How Mark Newman engineered it. Although, the one thing I didn't like, though, is they put a rod in here. So, you know, these two legs kind of key into the base. I don't like a second foot like that, because if you don't line it up correctly, that's how you get that, like, breaking stuff. But, like, this right here, this looks like glue, but it's not. It's weird. It's not your typical way they glue stuff. Usually they have that really nasty glue they use, like epoxy stuff, and for some odd reason they didn't do it with this one. Now here's another thing you guys don't realize. See this yellow strip here? See that yellow? And then see some yellow around here? That's actually their putty system that they use to putty it after they make a mold and cast it up. So you see all this yellow stuff here? They patch that. That's patch right there. So when they put this together and they casted it, this was probably an air bubble, and they actually filled that in with their putty. So you sometimes, when I strip stuff down, you can tell they actually had the putty stuff. She only looks slimmer right now because I took all the leaves off. If you see her with the leaves on, she's thicker. So I took a lot of this chunk of leaves off, and there was a lot of the stuff going around here. And then don't forget, there was a lot of leaves for boots. So that's all gone right now. So we, like, you know, look at her arms. It's because of the leaves make them look thicker. Same thing with her chest, you know, the leaves really make the, you know, it sticks out pretty far. I would do way more customs off of her if she wasn't as much work as she is. It's just so much work to take these leaves off, so. Yeah, the leaves give her a really childbearing hips too. So when you take all that down, it looks like she's not as thick anymore. I'll get back there though. I'll rebuild all that. No, I think there was a lot of these. If I'm not mistaken, they did about I think for the regular version, they did a, I think it was at least 1,500 to 2,000, I would think. And then don't forget, they did the green version too. So there's a lot of this one out there. And then there was an exclusive too. That's right. There was a regular with the regular vines, and then there was an exclusive with the Venus flytrap ones, and then they did the green version. So if I'm not mistaken, I think the regular version was like maybe 3,000. I don't know. I've seen a couple of. I've seen a Jessica Rabbit as Ivy, but I've seen her as the animated version, not like leaves like this type of leaves. Maybe maybe we've seen different ones. No, a lot of people still have this Ivy in their collections, even though the paint jobs were kind of bland. It's still kind of one of the best Ivies out there, at least a lot of the collectors I've talked to. So as far as I can tell, people still love this one. I mean, Sideshow did how many Ivies now? 4 or 3? I think 3, right? They did this one. Then they did one sitting down, I think, and then they did another one where she's kind of like jumping. So I think 3. Four? No, was it 4? I thought it was only 3. This one, sitting down, and then the last one where she's kind of running, or kind of like the Captain Marvel pose. I don't know. Maybe there was 4. I don't remember. Hey Mimi, how's it going? Just working on some random stuff. The P yellow, but you're talking about this one, right? I know, I'm talking about 3 different sculpts. I don't think there was 4 sculpts. I'm confused. Let me look it up too. Like I said, I only remember 3. Show poison. Alright, so there's Deadly Nature, right? Then the one where she's... Oh, you're right. Yeah, that's right. So there's the one where she's standing where I did that one custom off. You're right. There is 4. Okay. Yeah. So there's this one. There's the one where she's sitting down. And then she's the one where she's standing where I did that custom Swamp Thing's girlfriend from. And then there's the Deadly Nature, which is the last one. There was 4. You are right. Okay. Okay. The P one you're talking about is I don't even remember that one. I remember that one sitting down, but I don't think I've ever seen it in person. What's up, Devastator? Yeah, okay. Alright, now I remember there is 4. Okay. I was wrong. Yeah, I forgot about the Swamp Thing one I did. That one wasn't well received, I think. That's probably why I kind of forgot about it. A lot of people didn't like that one. I think the last one Sideshow did was the one most people liked the most. But I still say this is like the fan favorite. The OG one, I guess you can call it. I'd have to look at that later to see. I didn't look close. I just remember that one. The reason why I remember the Deadly Nature one is because a friend of mine got it, and she said she liked that one the most. So, but I still say this one's the best one. I say this one is because it's got the sexy pose to her, which they're kind of getting away from, I guess. To me, it depends on what statues you felt had problems with. Like a lot of the OG stuff, I wasn't a fan of, like the OG Hulk and Captain America and stuff. Even though a lot of people like those, I'm not a fan of those. As far as the OG DC stuff, I think this one is probably the best out of them. The Harley Quinn heads were good, but being the whole saggy pants outfit was kind of bland. Same thing with Catwoman. The anatomy was good, but the cloth was subpar. Yeah, I think too much mixed media, and I think that's why Sideshow's gotten away from it. Like, if you're doing a prototype mixed media, it's going to look amazing, but when you get into the factory, they kind of fall apart. So, the Batman Superman were good, except the capes were bad. But the Batman and Superman, like, anatomy and the bulkiness had that, like, you know, that kind of really good look to them. But Wonder Woman, I thought the prototype was amazing, but they listened to the people and they changed her face and it went to hell. So, yeah, I know Mark Newman still has that original Power Girl chest on his desk or something. But I guess the powers that be had to have that changed. But then again, I guess it was whatever factories they were using at the time too. A lot of the factories kind of screwed up a lot of things. It's kind of when they were just sending stuff out and letting the factory do whatever. Well, I think all prototypes for Sideshow and these companies look amazing, but whenever the factories get done destroying them, it never comes out good. Sideshow hasn't really put out anything that's kind of blown me away lately, or at least anything I've been interested in. It's like they kind of almost stopped. I don't know, I haven't really paid much attention. Have they put anything out lately? I mean, I get emails, but every time I get emails from Sideshow, it's always like hot toy stuff. And I'm not interested in that stuff at all. Is it... That's the Batgirl that went up for order like a while ago. It's just that it's shipping, or is there another one that came out? I think that's the one. I don't know, I can't, I don't remember really. I think it's the one somebody wanted me to repaint, but then decided not to do it, so... I think it's the one with the bandages on her legs, is that the one? I think that's it, yeah. I think that's out. It's been out for a while now, right? Ah, okay, so there's a... I didn't know they did that. I thought it was all ready to go and sent out. I know they did that with the Jean Grey stuff. I guess maybe they're having problems with the factories or something. Who the hell knows? You would have thought they would have done some Fantastic Four characters since the movie's coming out, but they didn't do any of that stuff. They have... The only one they've ever done was Sue Storm, right? That one Sue Storm back in the day. Did they do a thing? Like that's what I'm shocked at. They've never done Fantastic Four yet. Oh, that's a common practice with everybody, pretty much. I also did hear that when they were, for a while, I think for a while there, they were doing pre-orders, and then they would, you know, say they would do pre-orders, and they would say, okay, we got 1,000 pre-orders, so we're gonna do 1,500. But by the time it's ready to come out, a lot of people cancel their items, or they lose the NDR or whatever, and then all of a sudden they got to put it up for wait list to try to trick people into selling more, you know. So I think cancellations had a lot to do with it, but I think they stopped that. You know, they did the whole NDR there, and you couldn't get your money back. There was a big thing there for a while, I remember that. And isn't like Tweeterhead now doing something like that, where if you do a pre-order but you cancel it, you can't get your money back or something? It just came out of the blue. Something's going on. I know there was something said a while ago. You can see how messy this gets trying to get all those vines off and everything. Yeah, the only thing I have on order from Sideshow, but it's actually not an order from me, my close friend, I have to paint up a couple of his items. So he ordered the Sideshow Harley Quinn, the new one, that's in the classic outfit. It's based off the Hell on Wheels, but with the classic outfit. That's the only thing I'm getting. But other than that, I haven't seen anything that I've, like, drooled over from Sideshow in a while. Most of the stuff I'm into is either fan-made stuff, STL files, doing my own personal customs. And then the other thing I have on order, but this also part of a trade-off for a custom, is the Blitzway Superman that I'm going to turn into Kingdom Come Superman. No, my luck, they're going to do a Kingdom Come version, you know, when I'm ordering the regular, but I'll make my own. Oh, those are delayed? Yeah, I didn't order those. I mean, I'm a huge Street Fighter fan, but I kind of, I don't know, kind of over Street Fighter statues, because it's every time I've ever gotten into the line, they would never make the characters I want. Plus, these are too small, and I don't like the scale on them, so I didn't even bother. Devastator, is that the one where Conan's holding up the girl on the shoulder? Is that the new one you're talking about? Or is it something else? Because I saw that one pop up on my feed somewhere. Yeah, I heard some stuff going on with PCS. I don't know. There's too much stuff going on. I don't know if it has to do with the tariffs. I don't know if it's the factories or I don't know what's going on, but I guess 3D printing for me is kind of taking over. Get that up there like that. This way I don't let it fall. I don't know, maybe it's me, but it seems most people who get a Street Fighter license, it always goes to hell. It's like no Street Fighter license really ever gets finished, or there's always a problem with the license. Or maybe it's just a cursed line, I don't know. Because like when Jerry had PCS, he was supposed to make all these characters, and then he just started doing rehashes, and then he sold the company, and there was all this problems with him and stuff on that. And then the new owners, let's see, and then there was Eric Sosa with Prototype Z. He was going to make all these characters and everything was going to happen, and then nothing happened. It took Akuma to come out when he did the pre-paint, what, like 3 years or something? So, I don't know, it's like every Street Fighter license goes to hell. I know Capcom's a nightmare to work with, but it just seems with the Street Fighter stuff, it's a pain in the ass. Yeah, see, the Chun-Li lifting weights, I don't understand it. I don't get it. To me, that's just weird. Like, I'm a Street Fighter fan. I've been a Street Fighter fan forever. I don't understand. Like, I didn't understand Chun-Li in the wedding dress and the weightlifting. Like, if anything, like, did you see the Street Fighter STL file of Chun-Li where she's in the t-shirt and she's got the Vega Claw from like the animated movie? Like, that is something that is awesome, you know, for a Street Fighter fan. But lifting weights, it's kind of, to me, that's kind of like, why? You know, I would rather have elements of Street Fighter through either the animated movie or the comic books or in the game. But that's just me as a Street Fighter fan. But that STL file or that fan art of Chun-Li fighting Vega with the t-shirt from the animated movie is just awesome file. If I was more into the Street Fighter stuff from my collection, I would definitely get that one. Only because the animated movie was amazing. back when animation was awesome. Yeah, I mean, I guess for variant outfits from the game is okay, but I don't know. I think there's better options out there. Yeah, I don't know why anyone really never did that with the animated version, but that one does look cool as hell, so... I mean, if you wanted to do some outfits in What If, like, you could do, like, Chun-Li dressed up as Cammy, you know, or you can do Cammy dressed up in a Chun-Li outfit or a Sakura outfit, you know. Something like that I can understand a little bit more. But, I don't know, I'm kind of over the Street Fighter stuff anyway. I love it, I played it, but to me it's always the same characters being made over and over and over, so I'm kind of like, whatever. Doing a Street Fighter Overwatch crossover? What, for like a game or just like Overwatch with the Street Fighter outfits? I feel Capcom destroyed themselves with Street Fighter 5. And I'll say it to this day. I think they listened to all the crybabies in Street Fighter 4 and they dumbed down all the games and they got rid of all the people who were Street Fighter professionals working for them, and I think they just kind of dug themselves in a hole, and I just think people don't care anymore. Street Fighter was always the game where you had to learn and put time in it to become good, and that's what made people get hyped for the game. But when you dumb it down, people just kind of walk away. Overwatch is doing cosplay. Okay. Oh well, I mean that's kind of cool. I think Overwatch is trying to get people back because of Rivals. Why? What do you think happened with Part 5? I know it was a dumbed down game. Because when I tried it at the New York Comic Con that one year, I was like, this game is trash. Even other people were like, this game is trash. Well, they were trying to do that with 4, but the problem is like I said, they dumbed it down. And alright, so for instance, it was 2015. I went to Evo. I think it was 2015, right? No. Yeah, 2015. I went to Evo in Vegas, and I participated in it. And that was with Street Fighter 4. And the hype in that convention center, and the hype of the matches, and it was just insane. But when Street Fighter 5 came out, all that hype just went away because the matches were boring to watch, you know? I mean, like Street Fighter 4, I could go back, right? You could go back on YouTube right now and you could watch some of the old Evos with Street Fighter 4. And it was such a... It was like so much... There was so much imbalance of characters, but you still had to know your technique and you had to have your timing down and you had to... Every character was different. Street Fighter 5, every character was almost the same build. And I'll tell you, I tell everybody a story. I went to New York Comic Con. They had the pre-build of Street Fighter 5, and they didn't have sticks. You had to use a controller. And I was watching a guy in front of me play with a kid, and that guy walked away, and I played the kid. And I was just hitting buttons, and I was kind of knew what I was doing. This kid was mashing stuff, and he owned me. And I was like, holy crap, kid, you're pretty good. You know, he's like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I talked to the guy next to me that came up, because after the kid left, I played. He's like, the guy was like, yo, this game, the engine, you could tell the engine was trash. When the core engine is trash, the rest of the game is going to be trash. So, I just didn't get into it. And then with Street Fighter 6, I don't even know what the hell's going on. I keep forgetting that 6 is already out. I keep thinking about 5. That's how out of the loop I am. Yeah, Street Fighter 4 was the guy Seth is the one who helped make Street Fighter 4, and every character was unique, and every character had their pros and cons. Some arguably were overpowered in the beginning, but as they balanced it as it went on, it was good. But when they hired Combo Fiend, that guy Combo Fiend, to help them with Street Fighter 4 when it, at the end, he killed the game. That's when Seth left the game, and that's when they hired Combo Fiend. And Combo Fiend was more into like helping everybody play the game, and it destroyed it. So, yeah, four was just hype. Four was just fun. It took a lot of time to learn the characters. It took a lot of time to learn each matchup. It wasn't just like, oh, you go in there and you gotta wait, you gotta watch out for this person super. It's like you had to know the matchup. Hey, what's up, the mug? How you doing? So, I remember 2014 is when I started statue stuff as a full-time job. So I remember like at lunchtime when it would be like about 12:30, I would grab my sandwich and I would tell my friend, yo, let's go on play some matches on Street Fighter 4. We would play for about like a half hour, 45 minutes, and I would turn it off and I'd go back to work. And then I would, after at the end of the night, I was done around like 8 o'clock, 8:30, we would meet up again and we would play. And this was every day. Every day we were doing that with Street Fighter 4. I even went to a couple local matches because people would have local tournaments for money. I was doing stuff like that. That all died with Street Fighter 5. People just kind of gave up. As much as people cried about Street Fighter 4 and even Street Fighter 3, it still made people want to play, It still made people really, really wanted to just play the game. Even though you were bad, you would get frustrated, but you would still play. With Street Fighter 5, it was like, alright, I'm already good, whatever, I don't want to play anymore. You're a butt masher, so you would be what we call crazy thumbs. Just sit there and kind of mash your thumbs on the controller. For a while there, I was even playing Street Fighter 4 on my laptop when I first moved down here and I was still working at the job. So I had my MacBook Pro and I would boot it up into Windows and I would play Street Fighter 4 on Steam at the office at lunchtime. So I'd be sitting there eating my frozen pizza from the microwave, and I'd be sitting there playing a couple matches in the lunchroom. That's how much I played all the time. Partiers? No, we call them crazy thumbs. Like my cousin, when I used to play him in Marvel vs. Capcom, he would just sit there and just mash buttons. I would call him crazy thumbs. Dude would be sweating his ass off. I'm just sitting there, you know, calmly hitting buttons, and he'd just be sitting there mashing buttons like crazy. I'm like, dude, we just played 2 matches and you're sweating already. Wow, you got some weird terms these days. You gotta, you know what you should do, Jacob? Look up the music video of Mr. Master. It's good. You know what? I should find it. It's the old Street Fighter 4 song that somebody made with Ken. Because when Street Fighter 4 came out, everybody was playing Ken because of the button mashing. There you go. This is the Street Fighter era song. That's I remember when that song, because when Street Fighter 4 came out, I remember I just got the PS3. I remember hooking it up, and everybody was Ken, and all they did was uppercuts, 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 uppercuts. And he was winning too. That was the funny thing about it. But then they fixed that. Street Fighter 4 was a great time. It was a great time in the whole entire game. Oh yeah, I've seen the flow chart. I've seen all the flow charts at all. Trust me, I've seen all that stuff. Let me wash my hands. I got too much leaves on here. Yeah, I always wanted to build one of those Japanese arcade Street Fighter 4 cabs when they came out. But I didn't have the room or the money at the time, so that's why I made my custom controllers instead. But back then, everybody was making custom controllers. You know, they had wooden joysticks, you know, the wooden cases. Then they made metal ones, and people were... It was a great time for Street Fighter. Oh yeah, you never saw that song before? Yeah, that's an old one, man. That was when Street Fighter 4 came out. That song came out, man. That was like the theme song for a while. Well, you can they have those emulators on the joysticks emulators on Amazon. It's got like 50,000 games on there that you could plug onto your TV and play. It's a joystick that has it in there. And you could play like Gauntlet and all those types of games on that stuff too. Mike Ross, yeah, a lot of the old guys are gone. A lot of the guys I was watching in Street Fighter 4 didn't really stick around for Street Fighter 5. You know, you had like the guy, the Rose player Luffy. You know, like Street Fighter 4, you had like a guy who would play this character, and it was like they were known for their skill set. But in Street Fighter 5 and 6, I don't see that anymore. Like Justin Wong was known for using was it Rufus? Diego was known for Ryu. Luffy was the Rose guy. There was I forgot the one guy that was using Yang or Young. I forgot which one. So. I use for my joystick. I use the JLF stick, but I use was it not Sanwa, but the Semisitsu buttons. I like those better. I forgot the name. I forgot what they were called. I didn't like the Sanwa buttons. They were too like you could breathe on them and they would push. I like the I forgot what they were called. It was kind of like the middle ground. It wasn't Sanwa, but it wasn't American. It was kind of like in the middle, which I like more. Yeah, like I said, Street Fighter 4 was a great era, man. Like, you could see these guys come in and, you know... I remember, too, I was on the... I forgot what the forums... Where was I on? I met with these guys. And I remember I used to play Rose. Rose was my main character in Street Fighter 4. And then I liked to mess around with Dan, though, because Dan was just fun to play. So, Dan could counter that guy, not Sagat, the other guy that was the TIE fighter with the red hair. I forgot his name. Why am I drawing a blank on his name? But anyway, Dan would counter him. And I remember I was playing one of the guys from the forum in one of our groups. You know, like you could have like a group of 8 people playing. And I picked Dan against him and he raged at me because he's like, you know Dan is a counter and you're just screwing around. I'm like, dude, I'm just playing. So he got all pissed off at me. So it was a lot of fun times. Yeah, I could see maybe that's why Street Fighter killed it, Street Fighter 5, but to me, I think Street Fighter 5, the core engine dumbing it down killed it for me. Because every character had the same power boost, and they sort of started up their super the same way, they had their counter the same way, it was basically every character was the same. Maybe their ultras were different, but it was all the same movement startup kind of in a way. Yeah, see, that just because you have personal problems, like why ban from the tournaments, you know? Like most people could care less what the hell they were saying or doing. They just wanted to see them play. Oh well. But Seth is the one who made Street Fighter 4. He's the one who really brought Street Fighter 4 to life. Yeah, I didn't really notice the media garbage. I just looked at the core engine because all the guys that I played regularly with on Street Fighter 4, they all just like these are guys who were Street Fighter 4 fanatics like me. Like we come from back in the day of playing Fighting Street, like the first Street Fighter, up to Street Fighter 2 and then so on. And they all tried Street Fighter 5 and they all said it was garbage. They were like, this game is complete garbage. And nobody wanted to play it. So, it's the core engine. Like regular fight, like guys who play Street Fighter, if the core engine is shit, the rest of the game is going to be shit. But whatever. It's alright. Had a good couple years with Street Fighter 4. So, I'm okay with that. Oh, just getting spammed emails. Okay. Oh well. Yeah, we had a good couple years. Yeah, see, stuff like that's stupid. Like, I guess Street Fighter 5 was sort of designed going into the whole like woke era, where like everything had to be toned down and you had to make everybody be able to play your game and you had to cater to everybody, Like, I don't understand why you couldn't keep Street Fighter for the Street Fighter fans, and then people who wanted to play Mortal Kombat could play Mortal Kombat, and so on. Like, you don't have to cater to everybody. That's what Street Fighter 5 did. They catered to everybody, because they listened to all the... Because I remember Combo Fiend for Street Fighter 4, he was going to all the tournaments, and he would have everybody fill out a form of what they like about Street Fighter 4, what they dislike. And everyone was like, oh, it was too hard to play, it takes too long to learn combos. And so they listened to all those people, and they made Street Fighter 4 Omega. I don't know if you ever heard of the Street Fighter 4 Omega for the consoles. And it completely killed Street Fighter 4. Because it made everybody super OP, and it just was stupid as hell. I have that Street Fighter 4 Omega, and it was so stupid. It was unreal. So yeah, Seth made Street Fighter 4. Combo Fiend killed it. That was the biggest mistake, is hiring someone like him for Capcom. Oh well, lesson learned. Yes, the one-button combos and stuff. They did that, I think, in the Omega too, where you would just be able to hit like punch, punch, and then kick, kick, and you would do the whole combo. Yeah, I actually saw a couple of videos on Warcraft about how people are just like sick of what they did with Warcraft now. Like I saw in Warcraft that you don't even explore the, like, when I played Warcraft when it came out in beta, because I played World of Warcraft in beta, and I remember when you had to get to like level 10, it took like a month, it like you're working a full-time job, coming home, playing a couple hours, it'll take like a month to get to like 10 or something. But now in Warcraft, what do? You get like to like 65 in like a night or something, whatever, something like that. Yeah, who's I watching? I think it was Asmongold. He was talking about Warcraft, and he posted a video of somebody talking about what Warcraft is like these days. It's not like what it used to be. I come from the old days of EverQuest, where it would take a year to grind like 5 levels, Like, to get to, like, 65 in EverQuest back in the day, you would almost have to quit your job and play all day long with people. So then World of Warcraft came out and sort of made things a little bit more simple, but you still had to explore the world and level. Everything's dumbed down, because I remember playing Devil May Cry 1 and 2. Like, you had to learn the combos, and you had to learn the combo to beat the boss. But then I think by Devil May Cry 3, they started putting up, like, X and triangle and square to beat the boss, and you didn't even have to do any combos. So... Well, I played World of Warcraft beta, and I mean, what did I play? I played EverQuest, then I played City of Heroes, then I played World of Warcraft. But yeah, EverQuest and City of Heroes was grind. It was all about grinding. Oh yeah, EverQuest, people made friends. People got together. I mean, I made a couple of friends from World of Warcraft. We met them in like different, like when they would come out to New York, where we'd meet up with them. My brother made a lot of friends with World of Warcraft people. I was in a guild in World of Warcraft where 2 people met each other and they did get married too. So, but I also remember though in EverQuest, there was stories where people would be neglecting their newborn babies, and they would be playing the game all day long, and they weren't taking care of the kids. So it was an addictive game if you didn't know how to, you know, take your time. I think that is it for me tonight. I think that's all I got to go. I think what I need to do now is let all this cure up, and then I got to take a day this week. Hopefully Monday or Tuesday, if it's nice out, I could open up the garage and I could just go in there and just sand everything down. And then I got to start filling up the resin of those bodies, and just kind of start going there. I probably should start putting my Bayonetta kit together too, because I got to fill her up with resin. So, but I think that's it for tonight. I heard of that once. Yeah, I heard of something like that back in the day. People are crazy. But I think on Sunday, I'll try to get everything ready for Raz, for the new printouts, get all that stuff organized, and see if he could start printing everything, getting it going. And like I said, I'll reply to everyone that's contacted me for the Jessicas, but it looks like all 3 are going to go with everybody that's asked. I think that's about it. So next week, probably just some more custom work or whatever I got going on. Go from there. Alright, I think I'm done. I think that is it. I think I had enough of this chemical smell for one day. Alright, well you guys have a good rest of your weekend. And I'll just, like I said, we'll get the next stuff going. Until then, I'll keep working on some other odds and ends.